Small, often spherical objects made of clay, glass, paper, plastic, wood, or other suitable materials. Beads come in different colors, usually perforated for a string to connect one with a lot of others. They are usually used in making pieces of jewelry. Beads, which were originally referred to as a prayer beads, or rosaries. The Yorubas broadly refer to all red beads as iyun, while the blue beads are called segi. Other names for beads are ilẹ̀kẹ̀, kele, erinla, ikàn, àkún, ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀fun, and làgídígbà. Beads have been among the most important elements of sub-Saharan material culture. Since ancient times, African people have cherished beads and appreciated their beauty. Made of various materials, beads are small, perforated, and often rounded objects found throughout the world. Glass beads, in particular, are a common element of African adornment and are widely used in African clothing and regalia. Beads have played an important role in the personal lives of Africans and in the court life of African kingdoms, being valued as currency and as an artistic medium. The materials used have varied over time and include shells, stone, clay, metal, and glass. Interviewed the Adeboruwa of Igbogbo Kingdom, Oba Semiu Orimadegun Kasali Emugoreade I, who spoke extensively on beads and its importance. Here is what he has to say.
Okay, my name is Alailuwa Oba Semiudin Orimadegun Kasali Emugoreade I, the Adeboruwa of Igbogbo Kingdom. I would rather do it this way. I will mix it. My interaction with you will be conducted both in Yoruba and English. Ordinarily, if I want to insist on the modus operandi here, I will rather insist that I'll do it in Yoruba, because when you are in the palace, you don't speak the foreign language, you speak the language of the source. So, but for the purpose of some other people that will want to access the information that you are gathering here, I will mix it so that it will be beneficial to all and sundry. Tabanikamu ni bí ó ṣe yẹ ká gbé. Àṣà ẹwà ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ó jẹ́ ohun tí ó ti wà ní ìgbésí ayé àwa Yorùbá, àwọn ẹ̀dá èèyàn káàkiri, nítorí èyí tí àwa ń pè ní ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí olórúkọ tí wọ́n ń pè níbòmíì ní àwọn míì tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ nǹkan ẹwà tí ó tún pé oríṣiríṣi. Àwọn ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ yìí bó ṣe pé oríṣiríṣi yẹn, àwọn èyí tí ó wà tó jẹ́ pé ó wà tí ó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n bá lò ẹ mọ̀ pé ọba ni, èyí tí olóyè máa lò ọ̀tọ̀. Ìmíì dẹ̀ wà tó jẹ́ pé a tún máa ṣe tí a tún máa fẹwà sí, tó máa dá yàtọ̀, tó máa jẹ́ pé fún àwọn olóǹbá ni wọ́n máa lò ó. Kì í ṣe gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ olóǹbá náà ló ń lo ohun tí à ń pè nílẹ̀kẹ̀ tí ń sáré yíyan ibẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n jẹ́ olóyè láàrin wọn, tó jẹ́ pé iyùn yìí, nítorí iyùn à ń pè ní iyùn, à ń pè nílẹ̀kẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè máa lò ó. But fún bó ṣe jẹ́ ní àwùjọ wa pé báwo ni bó ṣe jẹ́ kókó sí ní pé ohun tí ó wà ń bẹ̀ jù ojú pé ẹwà ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ àbíyàn ó jẹ́ ohun tó jẹ́ pé a fi ń mọra wa pé ọmọ ọmọ à ń pè ní ọmọ orúnṣẹ̀ lágbègbè wa ń bíbà pé ọmọ ilé ni, ọmọ ìlú ni, ọmọ Yorùbá ni tí a bá ti rí ní ara wọn. Àmọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ ti wá yàtọ̀ nísìnyí torí gbogbo wa ti wọnú ara wa tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ẹ̀yà míì tí wọ́n ti súnmọ́ wa tán ti pẹ́ pẹ̀lú wa wọ́n rí ẹwà tó wà ń bẹ̀, àwọn náà ti ń bá wa lò. Bóyá kí n dúró ń bẹ̀ yẹn náà. Ẹ ṣé. It is very important in the palace in the sense that we have categories of beads. We have different types of beads. Like I said, mo ti sọ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé there are some that the king will wear. There are some that the chiefs and the olóyès in the palace will wear. Kí ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn àgbàlagbà ṣe sọ níbi ọ̀rọ̀ wọn, àwọn olórin náà dẹ̀ ti fi kọrin ti pé wọ́n ní adé orí òun la fi ń mọba, wọ́n ní ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọrùn la fi ń mọ̀jòyè. Àmọ́ téèyàn bá gbé lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ rí i pé kinní yẹn pẹ̀lú béèrè tẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi kò yànnàná ẹ̀ tó ní pé tá bá ní adé orí nìkan la fi ń mọba, ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọrùn la fi ń mọ̀jòyè. Ẹ rí i pé kọ́ba bọ́ síta nísìn kó dádé kó má fi ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ sí, ẹ rí i pé ìmúra yẹn kò tíì tó. Kí ọba aládé bọ́ síta kó má sì rúkẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kó má sọ́pà, ẹ rí i pé ìmúra yẹn kò tíì tó. So complete dressing of a king will normally include, not even normally, must include the wearing of beads. That is ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ àbíyùn to complement the royal apparel, which is the crown, the staff, that's and the what we call irukere. And for the chiefs, yes, in the palace it is very important. It is, in fact, it is an offense in the palace for a chief or baales coming to the palace or going out for an occasion without putting on a bead to depict him as a chief or a baale from a town, from a community. Prior to, because that bead, prior to his installation, was sanctioned by the king that installed him. So wherever he's going and is putting himself out as the baale or a chief from the palace, the only thing that will portray him as being so, as such, is the beads and other apparel that he will have on him or her as an ambassador from them. So that's the importance that the palace will attach to the wearing of beads, which we call iyùn or ilẹ̀kẹ̀, as we may, whichever way we want to use as a terms to qualify it. That's a very good question. What I discover nowadays is that bead wearing has now gained more acceptance than in those days. In those days, before, if you put on a bead, people will either tag you as either a chief in the palace or somebody that belonged to a traditional setting. So it is not common, and except if you have a royal home, properly so called. That is where, but nowadays you see that hardly you will see an occasion going on that you go around that you will not see people putting on, whether as a necklace or as one or two attached to their hands. So it's gaining acceptability, and well, except for where there will be distinction or there will be query as to how you, if you are coming to the palace and you are putting on a bead and I don't know you, I may have the cause to query you that bead you are putting on, Where do you get it? Are you a chief from anywhere? Or if you tell me it has nothing to do with any chieftaincy or anything, I may ask you to remove it. So that's it. But well, is to the glory of God, is one of those part of our culture that we believe we may not easily go into extinction because of the acceptability that people are giving to it now. Well, like it's a good question. Well, wearing of a royal apparel, aside from beads, is an innovation that tí ọ̀làjú gbé dé, ntọ́làjú gbé dé, and in those days, our forefathers' contact with the colonialists, so to say, exposed them to the use of other apparel like gold, necklace, and or silver, or even bronze. But I would rather say that as much as the approach or the style is gaining acceptability, I mean the use of chain has gained, it may not necessarily replace the use of our own traditional beads, because the setting is, we have setting in some cases that no matter how rich or how connected you may be, the wearing of that beads will not take, will the wearing of a gold chain or in any other form may not replace, will not, let me use the word for the purpose of emphasis, that can never replace the use of a traditional beads. So no matter what, yes, it's gaining acceptability. People want to use chain as it's a show of affluence, that ọ̀làjú pé àdèlówó ẹ̀, ẹyọ kan ó lè cost lé 10 million 20 million, but kọ́ba lówó ju bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó bá máa wọ àwọn ibì kan, tó bá máa ṣe àwọn ibì kan, àwọn traditional kìíní góòlù yẹn o, àbí bóyá silver ni o, bóyá bronze ni o, kò lè rọ́pò ilẹ̀kẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá rà àwọn ọba náà míì tán lówó tí wọ́n bá ń ṣọdún, tán bá lo ilẹ̀kẹ̀ yẹn, tán bá lo chain yẹn, ẹ rí pé ilẹ̀kẹ̀ yẹn gan á fẹ́ borí ẹ̀, ọdún chain yẹn á sì dáyọ náà, but ilẹ̀kẹ̀ yẹn kò ní ṣàìmá sí bẹ́ẹ̀. Bí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, ọ̀làjú náà ṣì ni, àmọ́ àwọn ètò kan wà, àwọn òde kan wà tọ́mọ bá máa lọ, tó jẹ́ pé àfi tí ò bá kúrò lábẹ́ ọba, àbí tó gba ibòmíì lọ, ni wọ́n ní sọ fún pé arákùnrin arábìnrin nǹkan kan báyìí ṣáà òun láti lò, tí wọ́n fi máa mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti ẹ̀ ń rò pé lóye nítorí gbogbo ẹ̀ náà nígbà téèyàn ní kọ́ sórí, àmọ́ tí wọ́n bá rí fáwọn tó bá mọ̀, tó bá rí lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n á rò pé wẹ̀ ẹni yìí ó ní connection pọ̀ mọ́ royalty, pé bóyá ọmọ ọba ni àbí. So ọ̀làjú náà ni, ẹlòmíì fún tìjú, ẹlòmíì á wò pé ojú tí wọ́n máa fi wò ó pé òun jólóòṣà bóun ni ò ní jẹ́ kí ìtìjú, á máa wò pé bóyá kan, ẹlòmíì kẹ̀dẹ̀rí kò kọ́ bí ara sí, kò rí, àmọ́ ohun tó dẹ̀ fi ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ojú pé wọ́n lè má ṣàlàyé fún tó pé bó ṣe ń láti máa múra nìyẹn, pé ó ń láti máa ní àmì yẹn lára. Ẹ rí àwọn olórí míì gan náà, olórí lè jáde kó má fi kíní sọ́wọ́, olórí míì á jáde ẹ̀ ní rí nǹkan kan lára ẹ̀ ní rí, àmọ́ kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà, àmọ́ ju gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ, ọ̀nà táwọn náà bá lọ sí àwọn ibòmíì, wọ́n máa ń fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ẹwà yẹn kó wà níbẹ̀. So gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ bẹ́ ṣe sọ, ọ̀làjú náà ni ó tún fẹ́ máa jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ṣá ara àwọn tí àwa náà wà níbí tá à ń gbìyànjú láti jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn wa kí wọ́n mọ rírì ipa tí kinní yẹn ń kó, ohun tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe ní láti máa lò tí kò ní pé àbàwọ́n kankan tá lè fi kún. Ọ̀làjú kó gba gbogbo ohun tó jẹ́ àwọn àṣà tiwa lọ́wọ́ wa. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan míì táwa ń ṣe tá ń wọ̀ ní ẹwà kì í ṣe tiwa, tí wọn lọ́hùn ni. Títí wá ń bí ní káwa mọ̀, ká jẹ́ ká mọ rírì ẹ̀, ká mọ ohun tí a fẹ́ jẹ́ ṣe, ká fẹ́ máa ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Lílo ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ sọ́wọ́, lílò sẹ́sẹ̀, lílò sọ́rùn kò fi ní hàn pé olóòṣà àbólóògùn ní èèyàn. Àmọ́ èyí tí àwọn èèyàn wa pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn kejì, àwọn mùsùlùmí ni àbáwọn kìrìsìtẹ́nì, tabára wọn tí wọ́n gbọ́ ẹ̀sìn yé gangan, tán bá rí ẹni tó lò wá fún lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀. Kò ní kéèyàn má wọ mọ́ṣáláṣí, kò ní ká má wọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì. Ohun ẹwà ni, ohun ìdámọ̀ ni fẹ́ni tó bá jólóyè. Ẹlòmíì dẹ̀ lè rí bí nǹkan bí ẹwà kó kàn lò pé òun nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí, tí ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ó belong sí any society, jẹ́ pé òun àtọlọ́run ẹ̀ náà ni. So ìyẹn á jẹ́ kó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn wa lọ́ṣà ń jẹ́ kí let there be moderation in our interpretation of the way we relate with people who choose to dress in a way that they feel comfortable.
Also, Mr. Ibrahim Akolawole Nuruddin, the artistic director of Theatrepreneur, Lagos State Polytechnic, highlights the importance of beads to the film or stage drama industry.
So, I am Ibrahim Akolawole Nuruddin, the artistic director of the Theatrepreneur. That is the Performing and Media Arts class of Center for Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition here in Lagos State Polytechnic. Play a very major role, very important role, because bead is one of those accessories worn by actors on set, either on stage or in movies, because it's part of the costume. It's part of the costume. So it plays a very important role in theater. It's an accessory on that costume. Bead is as important as any other part of the theater, because it brings about distinction between characters, right? If you have chiefs now, you have king, you have queens in a traditional story or in a modern story where you're using the word king, queen. They need the beads in order to distinguish them from just ordinary people. So beads play a distinguishing role in theater. A slave cannot put on beads now. It's not possible. So it's used to actually distinguish between characters, because every writer put in mind what is known as characterization. So who is this person? So when someone appears and you see a necklace, bead or ringlet or anything, your mind goes there that this is a traditional person. Is that a chief or is a king, is a whatever, can never be a servant or a slave. So that is there. It's very important. Very important. People now use bead even more than before, only that they've actually modernized it. It's not only in the theater. We are in the Center for Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition now. And some of our students are still learning how to make bead. They use bead to make caps, they use bead to make arts, they use it for necklace, ringlets, shoes, bars, etc., etc. We have different types of bead. I've said it before. And even when you're talking about traditional, can everybody leave their tradition for modern day tradition? No. There are some core traditionalists that will not for anything forsake their beads, right? So bead is still very important, because even in theater, let's go back to the theater, we have those that we call the revivalists, those who want to bring back those glorious days, right? They are not being Eurocentric. They still want us to keep that culture going. So there is no how you can say bead is not important in this era. now is important. I mean, in fact, it's more important than before because people want to identify with their past. Yeah. That is what we call the indigenous attitude, the attitude towards it. If the attitude is negative, well, it can go into extinction. Even language do go into extinction. But if the attitude towards it is positive, it will never go into extinction. No individual person can answer that question. It is a generational thing, right? But the way I'm looking at it, I don't think it can go because people are now falling in love with bead materials. They use it for fast. They use it for their flower this. They use it for what, you know, so many things. If you go into our director's office there, you see so many things made of beads, right? So I don't see it going to extinction in the near future. For necklace, that's golden necklace or GL, whatever, to replace bead, then the person does not know what is it. You cannot say you have a story of 17 something and then you're using gold for the king and all that. You don't know what you're doing. So they have their different places. Where you're supposed to use the modern one, you can't use the traditional. If you are to use the traditional, you can't use the modern one because there is certain, every story, certain has to do with when and where. When and where. So if it is the 17th century, then it has to be the bead, the local thing. That means you are going traditional. Bead is one of those things that we call primordial elements. The traditional elements in the society, they are primordial. But people are now going back to it to make them modern, right? So they are still very relevant, just the way they were relevant then. What is what we're doing here at the center. CESA, here in Lagos State Polytechnic, we have a bead section where students come to learn how to make beads, right? So I think by the time people embrace it as one of those entrepreneurial skills that can actually become career, then we open it up and it become common, just like you have your modern necklace everywhere. So we are doing that. We're encouraging our students to learn it as a skill, and we have the department here. So we have nothing less than 6 facilitators for bead making alone. Yes. So as time goes on, when people start falling in love more and more with it, then you see that the whole thing will be spreading. And just like any other thing, you will always have imitation. If people don't have the money for the original and they want to use it, by all means they go for. There's nothing you want to say about the other religion that, yeah. So if I'm a traditionalist, you can't ask me not to like my bead, right? So if some people do not like it, it is the general thing about everything. You can like Volvo, I like Peugeot car, another person Venza. So that is the whole thing. So bead issue is not an exception. Everybody will not like it. Everybody cannot like it. And everybody will not hate it. Those who like it will promote it. And the few that like it will make sure that it's in existence. That's just it. So the generality of the people liking it, no. Not even God. That we say everybody believe in. So, said earlier on, I'm Ibrahim Akola Ole Nuruddin, the artistic director, theaterpreneur. That is the Performing and Media Arts class of Center for Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition here in Lagos State Polytechnic. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Adetutu Adekoga Daramola, bead instructor at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Skill Acquisition, Lagos State Polytechnic, explained the process of bead making.
Adetutu Adekoga Daramola. Adetutu Adekoga Daramola. I'm from Ogun State, facilitator here in Laspotech in beading department. So, and then we have been doing so much here in our department. So far, it's not up to 10 years, but close to 10 years. I can actually fund, and it comes with passion. If you're not passionate about whatever you are doing, you don't get to move with it. When I discovered that I have passion for beading, I put in all my energy. I went for training upon training. I actually tried to deviate from what people are doing, where many people are, which is the necklace. I decided to major in corsets, bags, flower vases, interior decor. We made horses, we used bead to make teddy bear, different things. We have a lot of stages We have the fundamental and we have the advanced one. That fundamental is all about when you use bead to make key holder, like the introductory aspect that will guide you into the advanced. So we have different designs of key holders. The good thing about beading is like you don't need much, you don't need too much capital. With 2,000, 5,000, you can start, and you get to have high turnover. Bead making, we don't really need much. The major thing we need is the cutter. This is the cutter. This is a bent nose. We call it diagonal or bent nose, and we need the round nose. That round nose is not here. If you have those three, you could do many things. And then we need our fishing line. Fishing line comes in different sizes. We have the one of 0.25. Those ones are the tiny one that you can use for when you are working with the sand bead. Sand bead is small, so you use 0.25, 0.35 like that, up to 0.90. So depending on the size of the bead you are working with. So that's another important thing we need when it comes to beading. And we have the elastic one for the wristband, for those people that are like condemning beading because they said it's not trending again. But I always tell them, see, don't say beading is not trendy. When you look at an average bride, anybody that wants to get married, we want to do engagement, they must wear their local stuff. So, you know, that's to tell you that it's still trendy. Look at our forefathers, different types of beads in the market. Like this one is pearl, the white one, and this gold one is crystal. And crystal comes in different sizes as well. This pearl also comes in different sizes. So these are the one that the pearls and the crystal, I use it to make those pearls. I'm here to fix the handle to it. That's one. Then we have the one for majorly for flower vase. We have them in different. This is one for flower vase. You can see the outcome. I'll show you the outcome of the flower vase very soon. And then we have the one for making key holder. We call this one bead in bead. It comes in different sizes as well. This is a complete flower vase that we had made. We call this one bead in bead as well. The bead in bead comes in different sizes and in different shape. This is the round bead in bead. It's the bigger size. This one is bead in bead as well, but it's a sugar shape. It's a sugar shape. Then with this bead, this is another bead. It's called Caribbean bead. We use it to make purse. You can see how beautiful the purses are. Then we have different. We can't do like Edo bead is still there. The one we use for traditional when we are doing ceremony, when the bride is doing a traditional wedding.
So, Mrs. Olaleye Alimat, a beader and a fashion designer at First Gate, Ikorodu, also spoke to us on the business aspect of bead making.
Olaleye Alimat, tí àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ sí Lima Gold. So mo máa ń ṣe beads, oríṣiríṣi beads. A máa ń ṣe necklace jewelries bead, flowers, then and so many other things that we can use bead to make. Mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe bead láti year 2012. Mo ti fi bead yìí, mo ti fi achieve many things. Lára ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn nǹkan tá à ń rí nínú ṣọ́ọ̀bù yìí. Mo dẹ̀ ti kọ́ àwọn èèyàn ní bead lóríṣiríṣi. So mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Kódà a tún fi lọ sí school nínú ẹ̀. So títí dàsìkò yìí náà a sì tún jẹun lórí bead náà. We have different types of beads. A ní lava bead, a ní seed bead, a ní crystal bead, a ní chevron bead, a ní voile bead, a ní sand bead, a ní broken bead. Oríṣiríṣi bead ló wà. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn beads tó common jù òun ni sand bead àti crystal bead, òun ló common jù.
Adebayo, a student of Lagos State Polytechnic, learning how to make beads at Center for Entrepreneurship and Skills Acquisition, also gave us an insight on how the learning process looks like.
My name is Adela Kombra Kayomide. It's easy but a little bit corny. And because of, I just like it. I just like it. The challenge is just that you must have money to buy material. And you must listen. very rare. And if you make one mistake, you can destroy everything with just one mistake.
My name is Adebayo Aishat Adebola. Bead, different kinds of beads. So, because I like it, I love it. I have passion for it. Like that's why I choose. Weeks. It's per semester.
How many weeks now?
13 weeks.
Now, you learned so far. I can see some things that you've done. Can you show me some of the things you've done?
Yeah. I've done this. Here is my this thing. So I'm still doing this. I'm on it. This one is us. This one is ball, flowers, and petals. This one is teddy bear. So it's not yet complete.